you're doing, before we get to that, you were on AliExpress bikes for a while?
Forever.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they rode.
Basically from our...
Tell me more.
Not just AliExpress bikes, but custom painted with, oh God, like Norwal or something on it. Yeah. I don't know why, but
it was just kind of just like random, picking a name kind of thing. But basically, the end of our triathlon career into our first year's cycling, and I guess really all of the road racing we did was all on just Chinese carbon and AliExpress bikes, baby. It was our like poor college days.
Yeah, there's
totally.
No judgment here. I like stories. What's going on, everybody? My name is JP, and I want to welcome you into the Stable Cyclist podcast, where we talk about bikes, life mentality, and when the occasion arises, we will deep dive on the topic of mental health. My guests today, and I say guests, plural, because there are a bunch of us here in this podcast today. My guests are Marc and Nathan Spratt, the Spratt brothers, from the gravel scene, professional gravel scene. They live out in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I also have a guest co-host today in Trey Shepard. He is a previous podcast guest, and he also happens to have gone to high school with the Spratt brothers. So I thought it fitting that since Trey had kind of helped me connect with the Spratt brothers, I bring him in on this conversation and we chat with them. Now, this is the closest conversation I have ever had on the podcast to akin to the Bonk Bros. It's kind of all over the place, and we kind of are just chatting and having a good time as we go. So it's not as streamlined of an interview as maybe the rest are, but that doesn't take away from their story and getting to hear who these guys are and just honoring who they are. So before we get the Spratt brothers in here and Trey Shepard, I want to remind you the Stable Cyclist podcast is brought to you by Flow Formulas. If you are getting ready for a big event and you are needing to put in a lot of grams per hour of carbohydrate, then Flow Formulas is for you in your bottles. And I think I have told the story over and over on this show that during the Mahahe 100 this year, I put down over 100 grams an hour for 12 hours, which equated to about 3 gallons of Flow Formulas. I had zero GI distress. I had a phenomenal day on the trail. And afterwards, of course, I used the Flow Formulas recovery mix. And you can use the code JohnPeter15 when you check out for a discount on all those goodies in your basket as you head to the checkout line. All right, enough of all of that. Let's get Marc and Nathan Spratt as well as Trey Shepard into the studio. Marc and Nathan Spratt, welcome to the Stable Cyclist podcast, along with our guest co-host tonight, Trey Shepard. Just welcome to all of you. And Marc and Nathan, why don't you guys get us kicked off by just telling us where in the world you are at the moment, aside from being in the same room, but where are you guys at?
Right on. Yeah. Thanks for having us. And yeah, great to be on and meet you. And always good to see Trey. We're currently in Salt Lake City. Originally from Indiana, but living in Salt Lake now.
All right. And Trey, you are here because you and I lived in the same house a number of times this summer at races, and at some point these guys came up and you said, hey, you should have them on the podcast. And they were kind of on my radar already, but then you dropped the nugget that you're like, I went to high school with them. And so tell us about that, because I think it's going to lead us into the experience and throwing it back to them primarily.
Yeah, so me and the Spratt brothers go way back to 2011 or 12 or 13, something like that, so I was a swimmer in high school. And then these two boys were cross-country runners and decided to come swimming in the off-season. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen a couple of runners try to swim, but it's probably one of the funniest things in the world. And I don't know after a couple of years if they made any improvements, but I'm glad they found the bicycle. But yeah, that's where our friendship started.
Because if you notice too, Trey, he described himself as a swimmer. You see, I swam, but I was not a swimmer.
Correct.
They were never swimmers. Definitely runners in the water.
Yeah.
Right on. So you guys are running. Does this transition into like a college running life as well? Or how do we find the bike? Because I also was a runner, and then through some bad circumstances with running, I end up getting into riding bikes. So Marc, tell us about how do you find the bicycle? And is it at the same time?
Yeah, so it would have been sophomore year of high school. I had a major running injury, and that's where I shifted over into the swimming side of things. From there, when we started college at Purdue, started triathlon racing. It was actually the summer after senior year of high school, and then all through college race tries. And it would have been senior year of college, I realized that running hurts a lot, and swimming is before what's the swearing on this podcast?
Well, we try not to, but
okay. All right.
Also, Brad Huff set an extremely high threshold and dropped the F-bomb 88 times in his guest appearance.
Oh, okay.
So, like, there's a point where I just can't bleep it anymore, and I'm just like, all right, folks, put the kids away. So, anyway, carry on. Be yourself.
Swimming is really, really boring. What do you want to say? But riding bikes, that is where it's at. I think it's like a good mix, and from there we took off into just bike racing. We both raced tries all through college, but after senior year of college, it was just bikes, no more running.
And was this like a decision at the same time that you did you both race tries? Did you both realize like, this swim thing sucks, we're gonna go just ride bikes?
Yeah,
Nathan?
more or less. Yeah, Nathan he started triathlons first, like out of high school, and I only started doing them when we actually went to college. And so then we about the same time in our like tri life, we decided to kind of move just to bikes. The funny part about that is the bike discipline of the three was my best, and the way the Tri Club had their training plan scheduled, you spent the least amount of time training on the bike and the most amount of time in the pool.
Yeah,
of course, yes.
I spent so much freaking time in the pool, and I still sucked.
yeah.
I mean, when Trey and I swam in high school, he could vouch to this. I was getting my butt kicked by like 8-year-old, kids who've been swimming since they were 5. I looked like an absolute loser.
He was the guy in the pool trying so hard to go fast, but in reality, he was just going slower the harder he tried, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, well, sometimes tryhards fit best in the cycling world, as we've seen
for sure.
Dylan and a few others. So
his
no
one
technique
golden
on the
time
bike
of the year in swimming is when they did what they call dry land. Which is when the swimmers went and did running and stuff. Now they looked like a bunch of dorks, I'll tell you that.
For sure. So what is this introduction into, like, I'm just gonna bike look like? Are you on the road? Were you what year is this, I guess? Because for gravel people, like, there's the forever timeline here of, are we before or after 2020 and all those things. So what are we doing?
This was because I was in school for 5 years and he was in school for 4. He graduated.
He's a little slow.
No, I did like a co-op thing that was. But so he graduated in 17. So I think it was about like 2016, 2017 is when we transitioned into like just bikes.
This still would have been in Indiana.
Yeah, they just pan flat. I mean, every ride we did was just like mazes in the cornfields, just right turns. So yeah, it was all road, because originally we only had our triathlon bikes. And it's kind of funny when I was doing road.
We were the ones to show up on group rides with TT bars.
Yeah. And like anytime I ride, I still have a TT bike. Anytime I get on that thing and ride it, I'm like, I rode this every day. Like, and this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, now that ride road bikes and gravel bikes and mountain bikes, and it's like, who puts themselves through this? Well, we did. So yeah, that was it was all road and on a TT bike, and it was only about when we graduated was when we first got like actual road bikes.
Okay.
And then we weren't really into racing that much. We just kind of just training and, using it for exercise and staying fit, and, helped, take a little bit of the edge off of school and that sort of thing with the mental health and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
But, yeah, we didn't really get into racing till we moved out west. We did like a couple races in the Midwest, a few crits.
Yeah, I remember some cyclocross races together.
I guess I forgot about that. Yeah, you're in the presence of the I don't know
the OG gravel.
Indiana Cat 5 cyclocross state champ.
I was probably second place in that. I'm sure there's a picture of us on a podium somewhere.
Oh, definitely.
I think
looking extremely Cat 5.
Oh yeah, hardcore Cat 5.
Cookie Monster kit, like
absolute. Yeah. Cross and crits that's where it's at in Indiana. That's pretty much all the racing there is.
Yeah. So my follow up is, you said we're getting ready to move out west, or we're going to move out west. What did you guys study while you were at Purdue?
So I graduated in mechanical engineering, which is coincidentally it's the same as both of our parents went to Purdue for mechanical engineering. So it kind of stays in the family.
I was like way off the path in biological engineering.
Okay.
He's the oddball. We joke. We have one older brother, and we say that he's adopted because he's not an engineer. He's only flying helicopters in the Air Force.
Sure. Yeah. Low life. Yes.
Just a bump.
Yeah. So what gets you guys out west?
So it would have been when I was looking for jobs straight out of college. I had made the decision that I wanted to move out west, really anywhere. Utah, Colorado, Nevada, California.
Just Rocky Mountain space.
Yeah, we had made some trips out west growing up. Our older brother, he went to school in Colorado. Visited him and kind of rode Pikes Peak a couple times when we were out there, and just like fell in love with the mountains. So made the decision, want to find a job out west so I can live and train in the mountains. And yeah, just ended up landing in Logan, Utah, about an hour and a half north of Salt Lake. Just a small town, not the best road riding or really riding in general. So I was like driving to ride in the good parts of the mountains. But then progressively moved south until now in Salt Lake. And absolutely, well, actually, Salt Lake is horrible. Don't. Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolute trash.
Yeah, I think we've got like 6 foot of snow out there right now.
Oh, easy. I think it's 40 below.
There might be by the time this drops in December. So yeah, we'll see. But did you just go by yourself initially, or did both of you go at the same time?
Yeah, so it was just me in Utah until 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had graduated the year before, and he moved out to Logan, and then the year after that, when I graduated, I moved to Denver, and was there for 3 years before I guess both of us, we were always making trips back and forth, like between Denver and Salt Lake, and I just found that I loved Salt Lake. It was a much better area, just obviously for riding, but then also just like living there and just the area and that sort of thing. That Salt Lake was just a much better space. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just move out there with Nathan. And so, yeah, about 20, it was like, yeah, right in the middle of the pandemic.
Sure.
It was kind of hard finding a job and stuff. And his old boss helped me get a job. But we work at the same place now.
Okay.
And so, yeah, now we're living together and training together. And yeah, it's just great out here.
Yeah. Nathan, you said originally you were looking for somewhere to also train. By this point, were you starting to race at a level where you were like, I actually need a place to train and I can go chase results? Or how does that progression look for both of you into like, you know, I see you guys this year at a race like Gravel Worlds and you're like in the group, you're competing for spots. And I'm guessing at this point when you're moving, are you at that point already, or was that a dream, or what did that look like?
Yeah, so at that time, I think I was still a Cat 5 on the road, racing, and really not racing that much, and didn't know anyone in the community, and just started to sign up for local races. And then from there was one of the local teams that asked me to join on, and then pretty much made the progression from Cat 5 to Cat 1 on the road on that team. Here just locally in Salt Lake. And yeah, it was a fairly quick progression to
Sure.
On the road side of things, but it wasn't until
2021 was when we started doing gravel.
Yeah, into 2021. I raced a single gravel race. We had a friend here that was on the A-Bus
Sure.
squad. No longer a gravel team, but she had asked us, they were looking for guest riders to ride. Actually, speaking of Gravel Worlds,
yeah.
that was our first ever gravel race.
Okay.
Yeah, we were still,
Oh man,
we very green,
Yeah.
not near as fit.
we always talk about like nutrition and stuff, especially like in today in gravel racing. Yeah, if you're not putting down 150 grams of carbs an hour, like you're behind the curve.
Yes.
Is like, I think in that race I had like 2 gels, maybe like a granola bar, a can of Coke, and like that was about it. And that's 150 mile gravel. Like
8.5 hours.
bonked so hard, like that it's just, you learn so much. Like it's so much different, than racing on the road. You're only racing for a couple hours at a time. And, so.
Well, and I talk about, there's, Amanda Sheik and I have had a conversation about there's pre-pandemic and post-pandemic gravel. And post-pandemic is a different story. And then within that, I've had conversations recently with some of my guests about there's like pre-2023 gravel and post-2023 gravel. And that's kind of the time where we figured out all this carb timing and how much we could put in. And like the sport is so different from 2 years ago. It's crazy. And so coming in, with granola bars and a few gels, and like that sounds about right. But I bet things were still pretty fast because it was post-pandemic. So At what point do you realize, like, you've gone up to Cat 1, but you realize, like, I think gravel is the thing for me or for us, or what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I think after that first Gravel Worlds race, kind of realized that the sort of tactics of road racing that maybe, you have to have a team and the dynamics of that, and it's a bit more, I don't want to say like luck based, but more dynamic. The strongest guy doesn't always win, which is, that's fun at times. But coming from the triathlon world and, you're just doing time trials all the time, you kind of build that more like Zone 3 base engine, which is very, very applicable to gravel racing. So I just found a strength in longer gravel races that, just kind of fit my racing style the best. So still was racing on the road, just not as much. And then now I don't race on the road at all.
Sure.
And just,
of course not.
just gravel.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'd say a lot of it, and honestly, like throughout my whole sporting career, has in a way like just followed Nathan, even though
Okay.
I'm the older one.
Sure.
But
14 whole minutes.
14 minutes.
That's a good stretch right there.
Poor mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like even going all the way back to high school, in track, I only ever did like the hurdles and as much as a like a 400.
Yeah.
So like literally less than a minute. That's all the racing I ever did.
Very anaerobic. Yes.
Yes, very very much so. And relatively like I was better than Nathan was like in high school, but then after like he kind of in the endurance space, like he was just much more fit to that, especially in the triathlon. And so I also did run cross country. Trey had touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
But I only did it because all my friends did. And
Sure.
so like I sucked at it. I was so slow. The cross country coach, Stuart, the best coach I've ever had. He always joked like I looked like a linebacker out there. And he had a special training plan in a way for me, in that it was just because I was slow, is I just did less distance than the rest of the team. And so then like after that, it was follow Nathan into triathlons, and then like we kind of said like the cycling, yeah, we more or less did that at the same time. And then like in the gravel space, like sort of moved in it together, but it was less of my strength. Like I was better at that punchy. I still sort of had that anaerobic engine, and it's really taken like, I mean, years for me to develop like a really strong endurance base.
Sure.
And I still do have like even today, I'm better at the punchier, the sprints and the VO2 type stuff, where Nathan's much better at, just the super long climbs that we have many of here in Utah.
Hour plus long climbs are like the best. I know everyone hates them, but like that's my jam.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is, if it had been you and Chase Wark fighting for 10th place at Gravel Worlds, a Spratt brother would have gotten 10th by chance in sprint.
I'd have dusted Chase. Chase, I think Chase is more like Nathan's engine and stuff, but
yeah.
I have a horrible sprint.
You mentioned that Nathan is more the leader, just personality wise. As you guys were getting into this, like, it's one thing to go to Gravel Worlds and be like, actually, like, we're kind of good at this, but it's a whole nother thing to launch into like privateer mode, even though I know you still have jobs and you do that, but like you look at this very much from a professional lifestyle. At least that's my optics from the outside. So what was the process of like moving towards that after those first gravel races?
Yeah, it definitely, being on the A-Bus team like really helped with it. And honestly, I look back on it. Our friend Lindsay Stevenson was who invited us to come and kind of guest ride at that Gravel Worlds. Honestly, she's a big reason of where we are today, is getting us onto that A-Bus team, and then that sort of led us into, once it had folded, that led us into the privateer space.
Yeah.
We had a lot of connections through the A-Bus squad of various like sponsors and companies that we were able to reach out to after the A-Bus team folded to kind of go down that privateer side of things. That was a very, very good stepping stone was through that A-Bus team. And appreciate Bob Cummins was the race director for that, former racer, and he appreciate what he did for us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trey, you are back in Indiana during all of this, and you know, it's one thing to find these guys like sharing a podium with you in a Cat 5 cyclocross race. But and I have no idea like how much you stayed in touch after that. But at what point are you like, whoa, these are real results that are starting to happen, and they're doing big things in kind of the same space I'm in right now?
I mean, I always knew they were better than me. I think I only beat Mark like one cyclocross race ever, and I remember it vividly. We were coming into like the final 2 or 3 turns, and I was on his wheel, and I think I was breathing down his neck, and he just washed out in a turn, and I was like, dang, I finally beat one of the Spratt brothers. But yeah, their trajectory in gravel was pretty quick, honestly. I mean, I don't really remember your guys' first year, like racing for that Avis team or the guest riding portion of that. But I remember you guys being on Avis, and I was like, oh, they're pros. That's just like what I thought. I was like, oh, they're professionals. I don't know if that year you guys were still on AliExpress bikes or not, but once you were finally on like a real bike, I was like, oh, they're taking it seriously now.
I remember too. I forget what year it was that Trey, you were on like a cross country road trip or something, and you stopped in Salt Lake.
Stopped in Utah,
and we rode some and introduced Trey to some Utah mountains.
Yeah, it was like my first 10,000 foot day ever. Yeah. Before that, I maybe had like a 2,000 foot day back in Indiana. They're like, let's go up every mountain. Oh yeah, yeah. That was like football, Trey.
Yeah,
like 185, 190. Yeah, I went up hills real slow.
Is there this for Trey again? Was there a result that either of them got that like was very specific, or was it just more like the general trajectory you were watching them on? And like again, like they're not on AliExpress bikes anymore, which we need to talk about. But like, yeah, I guess was there like a specific moment that you were like, holy moly?
Probably, but I don't remember. Like, wait, there's like a super long race out there with a weird name, and I think Nathan, you won it.
Loja. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one, and I was like, dang, he won something, like a real race. I don't even know what that race is still, but it sounded cool, and I knew it was really long, and you won it. So I was like, they're getting real fast out there.
Yeah, Loja is it's a 200-mile A to B road race. You start in Logan, Utah, and go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And it's like, honestly, it could be a lot bigger than it is, I think. Like, because as far as I know, there's no other race like it in the U.S. But it's mostly just kind of Utah locals who do it. Like, you get occasionally some folks from, you know, maybe California or that sort of thing, but it's a really like hardcore local type thing. Like you driving in Salt Lake and you'll see Loja like bumper stickers and like on the back windows and all that sort of stuff. It's just a really, like, if you live in Utah and ride bikes, it's a you gotta do it kind of race. Yeah.
So you're doing before we get to that, you were on AliExpress bikes for a while?
Forever. Oh yeah. That's all they rode.
From our
tell me more.
Not just AliExpress bikes, but custom painted with, oh god, like Norwal or something on it. Yeah, I don't know why, but
it was just kind of just like random, you know, picking a name kind of thing. But basically, the end of our triathlon career into our first years cycling, and I guess really all of the road racing we did was all on just Chinese carbon AliExpress bikes, baby. It was our like poor college days.
Yeah, there's totally no judgment here. I like stories. So
we're also, you know, we're both engineers with very like sort of pragmatic, like frugal, like that sort of thing. And so we're like, we could spend $5,000 on a brand name bike, or like, man, it's like $500 for a frame. Build a frame. So, yeah, we were like,
We were building frames. We buy rims and spokes and hubs and build wheels and the full like cheapo route of spending like the least money possible to keep racing bikes.
Yeah. And we both love working on stuff too. We're, we work on cars or bikes or whatever it is, turning wrenches. Yeah.
So the AliExpress bikes keep you working on it. Yeah. Okay.
Then we're not near as good at bike mechanics as Trey.
Yeah. Exactly. Nor can any of us afford to buy the bikes that he builds for us. So, yeah.
Not everybody's rolling around on Envies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys are, right? Someone at Envy felt sorry for you and gave you some wheels. It's all cool.
Shout out to Rob.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I do have some breaking news about a new exciting gravel series in the Midwest kicking off this year. Chase Wark is hosting the North Star Gravel Series, which is 4 events of varied disciplines in the gravel world spread across 6 months' time. And best of all, there is a $10,000 payout that'll be split across the top 10 of the men and women in that series if you are able to complete all 4 events. And everything gets kicked off with Granny's Gravel Grinder in May. That falls on May 2nd. That is followed by the Hot Dish on June 13th and 14th, a 2-day event in Winona, Minnesota. The Day Across Minnesota is August 1st, and the Filthy 50 is October 10th. Registration for the North Star Gravel Series will open January 1st. Now, the registration for the individual events will not open until the 3rd, or in the case of the Filthy 50, it doesn't open until in June. And so if you want to get your spot, and these races will sell out because they did last year, especially the Day Across Minnesota. If you want to have your spot in the series, you can get it on January 1st. Go ahead and get registered. All 4 races, total cost for registration, if you register all at the same time, is $345 total. That is the same cost or cheaper than racing at Unbound in a single event. Guarantee your spot, like I said, for all the events by registering at bikereg.com. I will have a link in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. And as I said, the North Star Gravel Series is here. It is put on by Chase Wark, and his events do not disappoint. So if you are into gravel racing and you want to go on a wild adventure throughout Minnesota, through across the entire state during the year, the North Star Gravel Series is for you. Check it out in the link today. Okay, so you're kind of moving past your AliExpress bikes and you're starting to have some results. Lifetime Grand Prix starts kicking around, and some of these much bigger races, you've got Crusher in your backyard basically, or it's in your state. So
yeah, that's our home race, totally.
Yeah. So at what point are you like, I need to start targeting this? And these kind of like big marquee races, and we're maybe going to travel a little more.
Yeah, it was essentially the first year of the Grand Prix, which would have been 2021.
Yeah,
I think so. That kind of like caught my eye, and I had then the target of getting into the Grand Prix, and knew that like you had to race some of these big races in order to get big results, and it would have been after I got in 22 and started racing some of these bigger races, thought like, yeah, I think this is a better goal rather than just racing local stuff and maybe doing better at the local stuff and not getting mid-pack in some of these bigger races. It was that higher level of competition was a higher target to shoot for that helps me, at least for training motivation. And then would have been getting results in some of those races. And I'm not winning Grand Prix races, but it would have actually been Crusher, and it's one of my favorite gravel races. It's the only mountaintop finish in gravel, at least that I'm aware of. Sad that it's not in the Grand Prix anymore. But after what would have been a 6th place there, when Lifetime was racing would have been what I view as my best result.
Sure.
And kind of had realized like, man, like I'm racing up here with, the big dogs and can shoot for these high goals. And without setting the high goals, you're cutting yourself short. If you're just content with just racing without setting high goals, you're never going to achieve what you maybe wouldn't expect to achieve. And after that result, I did not expect to do that well in that race. I mean, I was going in thinking I might get 20th, 30th place, and then to crack out a top 10 at that big race was I was ecstatic, and helped me as far as motivation for getting back into the Grand Prix. That was a huge deal.
Yeah, so this is like terribly unprepared on my part, but have you raced in the Grand Prix proper any of the years?
Yeah, so I was in for 2 years. The second year I was in, had a nasty viral infection that was pretty much sick for 80% of the season.
Sure.
And just did not have the results to be able to get back in what would have been this past Grand Prix year. Still, regardless, like ignoring any sickness or health issues, like I kind of saw the light at the end of the tunnel where it was like, yeah, there's a whole lot of international talent that's going to be closing in on this Grand Prix thing. And I think, well, you want to set those high goals. And I still was shooting for, getting back in the Grand Prix. After this past year, it was like, man, it's getting a lot more professional, if you want to call it that. And it's harder for, guys like us that work full-time jobs to be able to compete with the full-time pros. And I still love doing it. And when you are able to crack out a result, it's just that much more rewarding. But it's, I mean, the announcement just came out today for the Grand Prix, and just seeing it's just, man,
it's very international on the men's side, especially. So, what does those goals look like now? What kind of things motivate you, I guess, for both of you at this point in your career, whether it is the Grand Prix or not? But like, let's set that aside. What are you motivated by today that gets you excited to like, I want to go do that?
Yeah. I guess you said in the Grand Prix size, but for me personally, I've not been in it. And so that's a big goal for me is to be able to get in it. And then like you kind of, as you race a lot of the gravel races for a few years, you kind of get a feel for like which are your strengths and which are your favorites and that sort of thing. And so like for me personally, my sort of A+ races, if you will, that I really target, that I would like to get a great result at. Number one is Big Sugar. That's just like, that's my jam. The punchy hills and that sort of thing. And I was really the closest I've ever been to a good, like a solid result at one of these Grand Prix races, or a race like Gravel Worlds, or just as I kind of view just the sort of like top tier gravel races.
Sure.
I guess to go into that particular story, a little side tangent.
Go for it.
So they obviously, the thunderstorms were there, and they reduced the race from 100 miles to 50. And honestly, I was like that had me a little bit worried, because like while I still have like that punchy side, that's like as I view like the real road racers and the crit guys would do much better at like a 50 mile, where like I feel like I've transitioned enough that the endurance side of it, like those 4+ hour races, I do have like maybe a little bit more of a strength with the punchy aspect. So I was like, man, this maybe isn't looking good. And then the race was absolute chaos, like one of the more chaotic races I've ever been in. Just that it was, going into traffic and like
both sides of the road, both sides of oncoming cars, like
yeah, and the feed zone coming in, like there was a big crash right at the beginning of the feed zone. I nearly went down to that. I think there's a video out there. You could see me snaking through. And our buddy John Borstelman, we're good friends with him. He gave me a shot. He's like, "Oh yeah, Mark, you stayed up, man. Let's go." And then we come barreling into that feed zone at like 30 miles an hour, and it was all sort of off the cuff. We're working with our guys in the feed zone. Tim Mabray from Valet was working for us. And I didn't even see him. I was like, I'm not taking it. I don't care. I have to just stay on this. And so came out of that was, still in the lead group. Cause I didn't even know that Matt Beers was off the front with, who was it? Riley Amos and another guy all day. I was completely oblivious to that. So I thought I was in like fighting for the win of the lead group. And then like coming back into town, we were coming into a headwind. We've got the whole group of like the front of the Grand Prix that are all marking each other. You had that 4-way race for first. Yeah. And then I think there was a 5-way race for 10th, the last money spot. And I think pretty much all of those 9 guys were in that lead group of, there's probably about 15 guys or so. And so they're all marking each other, and nobody wants to do any work. You coming into a headwind, coming back into town, and so I took a flyer with like 15 to go. It was right after Griffin Easter and Julian Gange had taken off, and I saw them. They got a good space, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll go for it. I'll try to bridge up to them." And so I went, and another guy came with me, and we got about like a 30-40 second gap going into the single track with like 8 miles to go.
Sure.
And we were only stretching it out, catching Griffin, and we both hit the same rock in the single track. Both of us had sidewall slashes. We're just toast, just sitting there. The like impending thunderstorm, just like almost like Hollywood-esque right after it happened. Thunderstorm crack, the rain just comes pouring down through these trees as we're sitting there trying to fix our tires in the mud of this forest on the side of the road, or I guess the trail, and that because it was single track. But then just seeing the whole group go by, and I was like devastated because like come to find out, Griffin ended up getting second in the race, and so would have been in a position to fight for second through fifth. Just to have it all end with a sidewall slash. So that was pretty devastating, especially because it was at Big Sugar, which I always target every year. And it's, season finale and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, long story tangent, but
it's all good.
They'll be back for next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nathan, how about you? What do you look at targeting in the, aside from the Grand Prix, like this year, as you look at the incoming season, and you obviously weren't on the list today that came out, but what are you excited about?
Yeah, there's some of those, what are like not Grand Prix races, but kind of, I guess Crusher used to be, but are maybe the more like, B tier, larger races in the West. And like I'd mentioned, I love climbing. High mountains is where, I have a strong suit. So I have, since I first raced Crusher, had the goal of winning Crusher. So that's a huge target for me. And then other than that, it's kind of the steamboats, Bighorn, kind of these up and coming Mountain West gravel races that I can target wins at. Like, I'll go to Unbound or I'll go to Sea Otter, and I'm never going to have an aspiration to win because it's an unrealistic goal. We'll shoot for one, try to get top 10s at races like that or races like Gravel Worlds. But after racing for a while and it may have been a bit since you step on the top step of a podium. You get that itch.
Yeah.
And you don't always want to like lower the bar too far down, but some of those, that's like just the sweet spot of high level of competition that can push you, but still be able to, make a step.
Well, and those kind of races very much can breathe life into the other stuff you're doing. I look at, I had a front row seat for Chase winning Lutz and 99er this year, and just like the shot of confidence that gave him to stand on that top step. And, definitely a B tier race in the lifetime, ecosystem, but what it did for his confidence the rest of the year set him up for what he did at Gravel Worlds, at Gravel Nats, and now really has set the table for this coming season for him. And with, like for you guys, what's equally as important, what your sponsors think of you and how they support you. So yeah, that totally makes sense. Trey, I want to know if you have any burning questions for these guys that you're just, sitting here kicking around in your head as we're listening.
Man, I feel like I had some ready and I forgot. One of them was about the AliExpress bikes. I was going to ask, when did you finally get your first non-AliExpress bike? But I think you guys answered that.
Yeah.
Do you still have any AliExpress bikes? I guess would be a follow-up question.
Yeah, I still have my tri-bike now TT bike.
Like the OG one.
Yeah, from college. Just sitting over there in the living room.
Never rides it.
Yeah, never ride it. And then we still do have AliExpress mountain bikes, just because Bentam's our sponsor. That would have been our first
bike yet.
And, on a bus would have been our first non AliExpress bike, but because they don't make a mountain bike, so we still have the Chinese carbon mountain bikes.
Have you guys done Leadville?
Yeah,
a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was gonna say if you haven't, you should, but I guess you have.
Yeah. And I love that race too. It is the least mountain bike race.
No, that is one thing.
All the mountain bikers and other people, they're like, "Oh, Leadville's just a gravel race or whatever." Well, what are they racing it on? Their mountain bike. So it's a mountain bike race. If you want to call it a gravel race, you go race it on a gravel bike. But nobody does.
Right on. Okay, so one question I have, we talk always on the show a lot about community and like how we support each other and kind of moving through life. And you are in a very unique situation that like you have your copy of yourself basically. And am I also correct that you live together?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of what I've gathered. And like, you have a dog or two that are part of the whole Spratt family out there, but how, like, you can be, and I've noticed this with twins that I've worked with in the classroom and in twins I've coached, you guys can be very like self-reliant on each other, and that's the list. What does that look like for you guys? Are you more involved, or are you able to just be like, hey, we got each other and that's enough?
Yeah, I think as far as the training and the motivation side of things, he, and he'll probably say the same thing, is a big reason why we don't have coaches. I think a huge part of coaching is sort of that accountability and the mental support, which we have via each other. The more like training plan schedule side of things, I mean, we're both very plan oriented technical engineers that can create that side of the training plan for ourselves, but that backup that maybe I take for granted at times that not everybody has comes from my brother.
Definitely. And we're being the classical engineers, we're both kind of introverted, and so having each other like kind of fulfills that level of like the sociability aspect and stuff, so we don't necessarily branch out that much, though we in through bikes and through cycling and stuff, we've definitely found a lot of that community aspect.
Sure.
And especially here in Salt Lake, the cycling community is quite strong. We actually will throw this in. We sort of co-hosted from back in the day. Now it's just massive. I don't even know if we can say that there's hosts to it. Hashtag T&E, baby. That's the fastest group ride in the world by far. It's not even a joke. I mean, the shootout, like that's kind of child's play.
I was going to say that these are fighting words for people down in Arizona.
Shootout, I don't know. That's just a bunch of Cat 5 Freds down there in Arizona. If you're
it's all triathletes.
If you're ever flying into Salt Lake, do not book a flight on Tuesday because just plane ticket prices are sky high with all the international guys.
Oh yeah,
just pouring into Salt Lake. 6:15 base of Immigration Canyon. T&E Tuesday nights, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
the big part of the progression we made is what they say: 3 years of structured training is equal to 1 week at T&E.
Mm-hmm. Easy. Yeah. I think now there's like 6 or 7 of the Grand Prix who have come to T&E. Yeah, I mean Melissa Rollins.
No, I think it's almost 10.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, it might be 10. She's Melissa Rollins is she's a Salt Lake local. Also, big mountain biker and off road. Now been in the Grand Prix for a few years now. That is the only training that she does. It's once a week. It's T&E. It's impressive. Like,
don't let her lie to you.
No. To go and win Leadville on training once a week, it's pretty legendary.
We got 2 Leadville winners who are T&E, both Melissa and Hannah Otto.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to just clip all this for later when I talk to them.
We've been trying to get Keegan and Sophia to come out too, because they, occasionally they're in Utah. They'll say that they're from Utah. They're here like 2 weeks out of the year. But we're trying to get them out because I mean that would skyrocket their careers.
Obviously. Obviously.
Might be mid-pack T&E here, maybe.
Yeah.
So what does this ride look like? What are we doing if one of us shows up there?
Oh yeah, you absolutely. If you're ever in Salt Lake on Tuesday, you should go.
So the biggest, most popular canyon, because that's the majority of the road riding around here is via the canyons. We have Little Cottonwood, Big Cottonwood, Mill Creek, and Immigration is the most popular. It's kind of a steady 3.5 to 4% grade. Generally, if you're just casually riding, it takes about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So that's the main chunk of the ride. We start at the base. Most people ride to it from their house, so they're all warmed up, which you definitely need to be because we pretty much roll out of the parking lot and just hit it from the gun. I have talked with people who their first time showing up and they just expect it's a group ride. We're probably going to roll for a half an hour before we kick out. No. It's minute 0, full gas for 20-ish minutes to the top, and then we regroup. And then there's a second climb called Big Mountain. Again, about 20 minutes. Steeper, somewhere around 8% average. That then we smash that and then turn around and come back home.
Sure. And are these paved or gravel roads?
All paved.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to get the Chinese bike out for this one. or do you have a real road bike now from Ventum?
No. We're both we're full on Ventum. Okay. But it's also any bike is welcome. So we've had folks we've done on our gravel bikes occasionally. We've had folks come out on mountain bikes. A lot of the Nike kids will come out they got a mountain bike and that's what they ride.
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple fixie guys too come out.
Oh my Lord.
Smash it. But yeah, so anybody, that's what's great about it is we didn't actually start it. It was some of the guys who worked at Specialized. There's a warehouse here. And there was only maybe 6 of them that sort of started it. And then a couple weeks after, a couple months, Nathan and I came out to it. We're friends with Zach Calton. He was working at Specialized at the time. And he invited us out to it, and like we just loved it, just smashing up immigration with the buds. And
really, I mean, it was only like anywhere between 5. We'd maybe have 10 guys show up for the first year.
Sure.
And then now, like in the summertime, it's anywhere between like 80 and 100.
Of course.
Yeah. It honestly, like, it's been super cool to be a part of. And like you had mentioned, the community side of things.
Yeah.
And getting to know people in the community, particularly a lot of the, younger Nike kids that have maybe, I guess you could say look up to some of the older racers, that it's been cool to like guide them and then also see their progression in training. I mean, some of those kids that started when they were 15 at Tierney and now to see them in their 18 and holy moly, like, like some of these young bloods, man, I tell you, I don't know what they're feeding them these days. I don't know if it's like a post-COVID thing. Like they all got the shot when they were younger. So they got like Superman Hulk strength. I was not that fast when I was 18. Like,
yeah, they're coming for your job and for your Ventum bikes. So, yeah, I do want to talk about, like, you guys seem very much like a package deal. Like when I said, Trey told me like, hey, I went to school with him and you should have him on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, together. Yes, let's do this. But when you're going about talking to Ventum, when you're talking about, I think you're both in the same kind of helmet, if I remember correctly, in the same kind of kit. And like, you don't have to give us like the contract details, but are those conversations where you're like, this is us together that you're sponsoring? Or is it like, I don't know. I'm just really curious when I see like you guys are very similar, even though your kits look a little different and all that.
Yeah, when we have the conversations with the various sponsors, but yeah, it's just like this here.
Yeah.
Zoom calls with the two of us.
Yeah.
And like, we don't necessarily like present it like the two of us together.
Sure.
It's just in general, we race together, do the same races.
A lot of it too is because we were both on the A-Bus squad and sort of made the same connections. And so that kind of, and then, also, like just growing up in general, like, especially like when we were in high school and stuff, it was rarely ever Mark or Nathan. It was just Spratt. Hey, Spratt.
Sure.
So, just sort of like been used to that, having a sort of together identity, if you will. And I even catch myself sometimes, like if someone say like group texts both of us, I'll reply with "we," even though I never even talked to Nathan.
Sure.
I just like, yeah, we'll do this, or like, yeah, we're okay with that.
That's how you ended up in this conversation right now. Do you I kind of see this a little bit like the Yates brothers were on, whatever it was called. Now it's called Jayco, but
Green Edge.
Green Edge, Mitchelton Scotch, whatever it was.
Yep.
They were together forever and ever and ever. And now they've kind of gone their separate ways and have found their own paths. Do you see yourselves at any point kind of going out on your own if that need arises? Or are you just very content with, we just like how this is and it works well and let's keep rolling?
Yeah, I think like if the opportunity arose, I would say, like I would feel totally comfortable going out on my own. It just seems like it's just because we do the same stuff together and people like sort of recognize us as like the Spratt brothers and that sort of thing. So it's in a way like others view us as like a pair. And so it's like if I can't really picture it. Like I'm sure it could happen, but like someone say like seeing one of us, but then not knowing and just thinking that we're just an individual. So if that sort of thing happened and an offer for a sponsorship or moving in a different race direction or that sort of thing happen, then yeah, I would totally feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's not necessarily like a planned thing or tied together. Like I would never do anything without him. It's more of we just both have very, very similar interests that just kind of mesh well together. I mean, it also helps from just traveling and logistics side of things of going to the same races.
Definitely.
Yep.
But yeah, like there's nothing stopping me from like I feel tied down if I wanted to go do something else. But at the moment, it's just a good fit.
Granted, the one race that comes to mind that I did that he didn't, we were both racing at the same time. It was the second year he was in the Grand Prix, and he was out at Schwamigan, and I wasn't willing to bite the bullet to fly to Minneapolis and then drive another 3 hours.
You made the right call. to
go do a 2-hour mountain bike race. I stayed here and raced one of our local, it's called Wasatch All Road, that Bentham was putting on at the time. And I broke my face and was concussed and unconscious for like 30 minutes. So, maybe the universe was telling me that I should have been at trauma again.
Fair enough. Okay. Trey, do you got anything else before we jump into random fire here at the end?
Do you guys ever play the team card in races?
That's actually a good question. That's a good
with
question.
Marc up the road and Nathan's just one other guy behind, and Nathan's like, I ain't pulling, bro. That's my brother up there.
So yeah, there has been a couple of times where we've done that, and like the people we're racing against, they're like, "What the hell? Like that guy's in a different kit. Like what are you doing?" And like there may be somebody we don't know, and they don't know us. It's like, yeah, that's my twin brother, man. I'm not pulling that back.
Definitely.
And I wasn't sure if it went that way, or if it was like so much competition that you're chasing each other down.
It depends on the race, because like something like a crusher or whatever, where there's like not really any working together, then it's just we're fighting each other
every
just
man
as
for
much
himself.
as we're fighting everybody else. But yeah, definitely the more tactical races, it's I'm not chasing him back. You do that.
I mean, I think the Grand Prix is going very team race oriented racing. Like I think everybody next year is going to have at least 2, if not 3 teammates. So that card might have to be played more just to be competitive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For sure. I mean, when I saw the other tutor guy that was on, that got selected with Simone, I was like, oh yeah. And then now that squad, it's definitely going in that direction. And if you're left on the wayside of racing solo, unless you're just like crazy strong, like Cam or Keegan, it's definitely gonna hurt you.
Well, even Keegan needs a Tobin, so.
No, yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's just Cam Jones that has that.
Yeah, he doesn't need a teammate. He's good.
He's got that mountain biker aspect too of just he will pull everything back,
chase everything down.
Him and Matt Beers will both, like it was at the Rad one year. I think it was Alex House was like about 30 seconds a minute up the road, completely solo, and this is only like we're maybe 20 miles into the race, so very early on. And then Matt Beers is just hauling on the front, and I'm like looking over at our buddy John, and like, what is he doing? And John goes up there and is like, Matt, do you not realize that there's only a solo guy up? Like, we don't need to worry about him. He's like, no, man, like this is dangerous. We gotta bring that back.
So he's gonna go solo for 90 miles.
So yeah, there's those dudes who just like they've got that strength.
Crazy
it doesn't,
strength.
They can pull it back and fight for the but schmucks like us, we need that teammate. So yeah, I think you're onto something, Trey.
Why don't you guys ride in the same kit? Because like everything else about you is similar, and then like again, I'm watching the race. I'm like, no, they're not even in the same kit. What is going on?
It is funny to say that. Like because we have been seen from the outside as this pair, and like we're essentially to so many people the same person.
Sure.
As much as like I'm okay with that, it does get annoying at times.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Having sort of a sense of like personal identity in some aspects is nice to so having and especially with the kit, like working with Valet, we were able to kind of design our own thing, and so never really had that opportunity before. So to be able to do my own thing and then him do his own thing, that was just kind of both the way that we preferred.
Yeah, no, I totally can see that. And especially when, like you said, so many of the things about you are perceived as the same. There's that identity piece where at some point you're like, yo, I'm still a person.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we always, we close things out with not rapid fire because it's not quick. These are random fire. These are like, I put all the random questions into a gun and I just shoot them out at you. So,
all right. I dig it.
The first question that we're going to ask is the four of us are going to go on a long bike ride together. We're not doing TNE. This is a chiller ride than that. We're just going for a nice ride, but it's a long bomb. And we're going to end up out in some rural place, and we're going to end up at a gas station, and we're out of what we need. And so we've got to go into this gas station and get the goods to eat and drink. And this is not like a Buc-ee's or some kind of nice gas station that you would have out your way. This is a total crap hole, probably with taxidermy on the walls and bait for sale. And
all right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're speaking our language. I mean, this is where we grew up, John.
Well, I'm in like very rural Minnesota, so this is like I'm talking a love language right now to the cyclists.
Yeah. We're totally both gas station food cyclists.
Okay. So what are we getting to eat and drink here?
Okay. So wait. We got to lay out the conditions.
You can't. There's like, don't give me this. Well, I'm gonna get like hot chicken wings. They don't make hot food here. You got the cooler full of stuff, and you got like the candy bar concession stand type stuff.
Is this hot as balls August?
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hot as balls August. So I usually, because like a lot of the food that I carry is sweet. If I go to a gas station, I'm almost always getting something salty.
Sure.
And so I love salt and vinegar chips. That with like a Dr. Pepper, or it's not very often, but you'll occasionally get Barks root beer. That's probably like one of my favorite sodas.
Yeah.
If I get Barks,
they ain't having no Barks root beer, some trash crap.
No, they'll have Barks. Yeah, they'll have Barks for sure. Yeah.
You got your Coke, you got your Diet Coke, you got your Sprite.
it's like the Blues Brothers. What kind of music y'all play around here? Oh, we play both kinds, country and western. So like Dr. Pepper and some like salt and vinegar chips. That's probably my go-to.
Okay, right on.
I'm thinking because I go that salty route too, but definitely on the side of barbecue. Anything barbecue. That's that hits real good. I would say on the soda side of things though, Fanta.
Okay, right on.
Fanta is good. Although if they got wild cherry Pepsi, which is quite rare these days, which I don't understand. It's like you take Pepsi and you make it better, but nobody wants to buy it, so they only sell Pepsi.
It's all these white bread squares, drinking regular Pepsi.
Yeah, wild cherry Pepsi if they've got it. That's
all right. I'm going to share because we said it's balls hot August. My favorite hack during the gas station stop is actually the 5-pound bag of ice.
Oh, okay.
And what you do is you fill your bottles with it as you're filling up, and that'll knock down like half your bag. And then you like tie the top off of the bag, poke a hole in the bottom of it, and stuff it down the top of your jersey. and you've basically got an ice sock for the next hour that's just going to drain down your back.
Dang, all right. Yeah, that's a good hack. I like that.
Yeah, it's yep. And if you for some reason destroy the bag in the process, go get a carry-out bag from the lady, and that'll work too. So yeah.
You seeing hacks though. Now this won't be at your crap hole gas station in the middle of nowhere, but we've got a gas station with a walk-in chiller. Yeah, I got the beer fridge.
Yes.
So you buy all your stuff, and then you go back into the chiller, and you hang out there and you eat all your stuff in the chiller. That is gold.
I have a previous guest from the Dallas-Fort Worth area who that was his hack too. And,
nice.
Yeah, you just hang out in the beer cave. So
exactly.
All right. My next question. You guys train a lot together, I see, on social media. Although it doesn't always look like it. You have to be seeing both of your stories and being like, oh, they're in the exact same place. And they're obviously filming each other. But when you guys are out training, are you listening to music?
Yeah, definitely. We're both use like the, over ear or like bone conduction headphones where we can still hear and talk and stuff. So yeah, we both jamming the music and
generally turn it up like if we're doing intervals or efforts.
Yeah,
we kind of like separate or whatnot. But in general, listen to music.
Okay, well, what are we listening to? What is on the Spratt Brothers playlist?
All right, yeah. So my all-time favorite band is the Wombats. Greek Tragedy. That's a full-on bang. Like I've got a separate playlist that's like just the bangers that I'll like put on for like intervals and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, like the Wombats. Lights is another one. She's a Canadian artist, solo. Shoot, I'm blanking it now. What
Yeah, for me, it's a similar mix. I probably lean more towards a bit of the pop. And for me, though, when doing intervals, I love The Who.
Okay.
And Baba O'Reilly. If I crank that puppy on, like easy 50-watt boost.
So I believe Utah native Joe Gettle calls it the go to the well mix. Do you have such a thing on your mix?
Okay. I guess I see what you're saying. I think I just have it in mind as like super faves or something like that. It's just like those are just the all time favorite like bangers, that just get me going. I'd have to. I don't know if do you have one, Nathan?
It's not. I don't a similar name. I don't exactly remember what I call it, but yeah, something on the like hype train playlist.
Super faves. Yep.
Right on. Okay. This next question is still in the music realm, but I'm gonna ask it to Trey first because he was on the podcast before we started asking this, and. The Holy Spirit of Gravel and I have loosely joked about potentially hosting an Unbound activation where we have a karaoke night. And we have joked about, and I have, since this interview with her, joked about what song you would sing if you came to the karaoke night. And like... It's never what you would expect. Like Justin McQuarrie was like, "Oh, I'm singing The Man from Waco," which is like the most country song you've ever heard. And like one of my future, I guess John Carish, his interview will be out by the time that this interview is out. The tire guy, he was like wanting to sing a Shania Twain song at this gathering. So like it's all over the board.
Really
but Trey Shepard from the bicycle station.
No, do you remember last time you asked me about the playlist
party,
thing, and I was like, I don't even know the names of songs. I just turn on a random playlist and let it go.
Because you have so many choices?
I honestly couldn't name a song that I would want to sing karaoke to. It'd probably be like, oh man, I don't know. I could like rap some random Eminem song or something. Something from like 2014.
Maybe for you, we're gonna have to invent like a wheel that you spin, and like you just have to sing what's chosen.
It'd have to be after Unbound. Post Unbound, who knows what'll happen.
Hey, if we get far enough into the night, I bet we can get you to rap anything. So, Nathan, what do you got for us?
Oh, it's a hard question. Because
remember, it's all friends in this gathering that'll be there. So
I can understand Trey's aspect of just like throwing on a playlist and like you don't even, because I do that at times too. Not even paying attention to like what the name of the song is. But man, just I've never actually done karaoke before.
I haven't either. I didn't even pronounce it right until after that first interview because I got crushed for my pronunciation. So it's all good.
Oh, let's see. There's a Maud Latour song that's about riding her bike.
Oh.
I don't even remember the name of it. But I'm going to go with that.
All right. We'll add it to the list. Mark, how about you, man?
I would say thinking, probably, I don't know, maybe something like Green Day or Blink.
Right on.
That'll get the people going.
Let's go Boulevard Broken Dreams with.
Right on, man. Right on. Okay, that's good. Yeah, exactly. You can go right after Brett Rothmeyer sings Champagne Supernova. So
man, that's good. I'm probably gonna come up with like 5 songs after we get off this. You're putting us on the spot, John.
Yeah. Well, that's half the fun of this. All right. Before I ask, Trey, do you have any random fire before I ask like the most requested question?
No. You should have had me come up with some before this pod.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, I did give you like a whole 18 hours to prep.
I know.
This came together only just slightly slower than the Chris Melman interview, which came together like 4 hours last week. So, okay, this is what the people want to know. Are you into Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, not even question. Harry Potter. What is that? Bunch of nerds, I tell you.
It's not even close.
I have probably seen the Two Towers like 90 times.
Yeah. I think I've maybe seen like 2 of the Harry Potter movies, but yeah, all of the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all that. And same like Lord of the Rings over Star Wars. That's definitely favorite.
No, we're not even going to bring up the space movies. So. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I have no idea who your head unit sponsor is. I'm supported by Wahoo, so I call this the Wahoo question, but you can certainly name drop yours. Say you are ripping up Immigration Canyon on TNE. What is on the main screen of your head unit? I don't want to hear about 3 swipes in and what you do once you're in the lead. I did like main head unit, go.
See, we're not even looking at the head unit. It's just you're just focused on the guy's wheel behind you. Because I mean, we're just mid-pack TNEers. We're just sucking wheel all day.
I've only got one thing on the main page because I work off a 2-zone model. So we got zone 0, which is anything that's not T&E, and zone 1, which is balls to the wall, full gas. And so it just tells me if I'm in zone 0 or zone 1.
It's just like a red green light kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a simple guy.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
No. In all reality, it's like I really just have. I use Wahoo. He uses Koros.
Okay.
And so it's just kind of.
Is there a reason for the difference there?
I think because we both ran Wahoo for a while.
Okay.
And then his like ejected off of his mount like at a race this year. And so he was like looking for a replacement, and then just came into the Koros
Sure.
thing. I think he found out like Hannah Otto. She's also another Salt Laker.
Yeah.
Also she's a T&E regular.
Yeah.
I think she's Koros sponsored. Yeah,
Okay.
and so kind of found out it from her. So yeah, my main page is like just like 3-second watts. I've got heart rate. Speed. I'm trying to picture it in my mind. It's like you look at it for hours at a time. Normalized power on there. That's just like a skyrocket trajectory at TV. It's just racking up. You might start at like 200, but by the time you're done, you're pushing 500-600.
Yeah, anything less than 9 watts a kilo, you're off the back. Mine's pretty basic. Yeah, I got the large one at the top is just that 3-second power that's got the little 2 normalized and average in there. And that's what I pay attention to the most. And I don't use heart rate. Never have. I hate the strap. I mean, never worn a brawl, but I feel like it's like 20% of the way there.
All right. I'm just gonna move on before we derail here. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, one more question. Who has the KOM for TV?
That's a touchy, dark subject in the Salt Lake community.
That's why I asked it. I need
Nathan
to know.
had it for a while. So before Nathan, it was for like I think about a decade. It was the breakaway at the Tour of Utah. And that's what a lot of the segments and stuff around here are like just Tour of Utah type stuff. So there's like certain ones that, are near and dear to our local hearts. One of which is immigration, even though that was, from the Tour of Utah. And we had like planned out over like a long time with T&E and the sort of core T&E squad. We're like, we've got to dedicate like one of these nights to just hammer it and really go after the comp. And so we planned it out and like announced it ahead of time. We got like a huge squad out that was just like, they were dedicated to the cause of like, they knew one of us was going to go get the comp. And so we had like, we had one guy, he's a real strong like time trialist, roadie. He came out on his TT bike and we smashed it, and a bunch of dudes that were just like sacrificing themselves, just popping. And so Nathan took it, and he got it that day.
The meme train was rolling good. T&E's got an Instagram page.
T&E updates. It is worth a follow, even if you've never been to T&E.
Our buddy Sam runs it. He is freaking hilarious. The memes are golden.
I'm a long-time follower.
Hit up the T&E updates.
Yeah.
So yeah, when he got it, it was huge. Like everybody was just so stoked. I still remember the photo of him up at the top, just like posted up with the whole group around him. And that was a great day.
It was a very strong community day for sure.
Absolutely. So since then, there's this dude. He's like 40 years old. And there you go. Yeah, you got it. There's this like 40-year-old dude who moved like into Salt Lake maybe like a year or two ago. Fully on the juice. I mean, we are talking TRT to the max. Like he went from literally like Cat 5 to stealing Levi Leppenheimer's comms on some of these segments when Leppenheimer was doping. So now he has it, and so we absolutely, like us locals and stuff, we're buying. We've got to get that back in clean hands.
Did he get it solo?
When he did it, he got a few friends to help him out, but he has done solo times that were within like 20 seconds of Nathan's time from that day. And so, like, it's just nuts. I will give it to him. He's at least has the dignity. He doesn't race. He so that, that's kind of one of the red flags there that, just on the juice. But we're going to get it back. We'll get it back for sure.
Because you had mentioned earlier, John, not asking about contract details. I don't think Bentham or Bear will care about this. Taking the Emmy-Com,
we've got a bonus.
Is in our contract.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. All right. So I got two questions left. One is, it might become serious, but I think it's kind of dumb. And then the last one's a little more serious. But I'm going to say 3 different names of races here, and I want you to tell me which one you think is the best. I think this will be an easy answer for you, but
best like our favorite.
Oh, yeah. Just like which one you like the most. So,
Okay.
So we've got Unbound, we've got Gravel Worlds, and we've got Crusher.
Crusher.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay. Just it's the home race,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as like Unbound's cool from it's essentially the non-world championship, world championship of gravel. I kind of hate that race.
It sucks. I abhor that race. It's just
we're traveling in the middle of bum nowhere, Kansas, to pay exorbitant amounts of money to stay in these and race our bikes on what is ultimately a trash course. I think,
and not trash because it's gnarly. Because all these people talk of Unbound is like, oh, it's just like such gnarly gravel and stuff. The just most average Utah gravel road is 10 times worse than any than Little Egypt and Unbound. It's not even a comparison. You need to come do the OG Wasatch All Road. That's the course that I broke my face on.
There's a reason he broke his face.
We are riding down basically a riverbed of boulders. It is just So definitely Crusher. It's and especially he's a lot. That's kind of his strong suit. Not as much for me, but still just the local race and the home race vibe of it is
Right on. Okay, my last one. I want to know who inspires you, and maybe it's each other, or maybe it's parents, or maybe it's someone else. It sounds like you're a little bit inspired by a 40-year-old doper in Salt Lake City right now. But who inspires you in all seriousness?
That's it. For sure him. And having a twin brother that is both an inspiration and also just a motivational driver, for sure. But definitely from the starting days, I don't know if I would say an inspiration now, but at the time and through college, Mark had mentioned our cross country running coach Stuart, who was our best coach ever. I think he is a huge driver for our work ethic on the endurance sport side of things, and seeing what he was able to instill in not just us, but anyone who came through that team. And we were just, Trey could speak to it, a dinky little Indiana school, and to be able to make it, up through the ranks and compete at a high level. I think people like that. Who I don't have that strong coaching mindset. It's really inspiring to me to be able to do it for yourself is one thing, but to do it for others and get them to improve where you're not necessarily benefiting from it. It's a big. Yeah, I would say specific to the kind of racing that we do, especially how we got into it. Our good friend John Borsselman, he was a big inspiration for me when we first started getting into gravel racing. He was on that A-Bus team, and he was sort of the top dog guy that was getting all the results and stuff. And watching him and what he could do and the results that he got, that was big for me.
Yeah, right on. That's beautiful. Anytime I get to hear my guests talk about, who's driving them forward today, that's incredible. Trey, you got anything else before we peace out here?
No, man, this is a fun podcast. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. And Nathan and Marc, thank you for giving your time and just hanging out and being open about who you are. This has been awesome. And I look forward to meeting you in person and in the coming year.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a ton for having us on, John. Yeah. Hopefully the next time I see you, it's not breathing through my eyeballs at the end of Gravel World where I can't really talk to you. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I have a really good clip of you like stumbling to open a can of Coke, I think, or something like that right after the finish. So, no, this was awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Thanks for hanging out with Nathan and Marc Spratt, as well as Trey Shepard today, as well as myself. Do me a favor, and if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who you think might enjoy it. And most of all, I hope you are having an amazing week. And regardless, I hope you do remember that you are loved.